And I love your first story. Let's talk about that. Your story is called My Name's Sammy and I'm No Snitch. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the book is about bullying and reporting. The main character, Sammy, prides himself on not being a snitch. After he witnesses his best friend being bullied, he has to decide whether or not to break his no snitching code to protect his friend. And I wanted to center the story on the perspective of a bystander because that's a position that a lot of students find themselves in. And if they haven't already, they probably will during their school years. I think I knew I wanted to create a series as soon as I started writing Sammy, not focused on a particular character necessarily, but on the setting, this school setting of Chicory Elementary School, my fictional elementary school, just on this school community, because there's such a diversity of lived experiences among elementary school students. There's different problems to be dealt with, and I just knew I wanted to keep exploring that.
Well, and it's such a great story, and the distinction between the idea of snitching and reporting and those types of situations, really good lesson, a really good lesson for students to learn, and very relatable. Was this based on a story or combined experiences, or how did you come up with that idea?
Okay, I can answer that. Going kind of back into to how I got into writing, uh, tell you a little bit about how I got into writing for Boys Town Press, where that idea came from. And I attended a counseling conference, and Julia Cook was the keynote speaker. And she had a smaller session the next day after her larger speech. And I went to that, and she talked about her books and her process. And she mentioned that she had started writing after incidents of tattling at her school. And I realized then that I have the opposite problem. Students didn't speak up when they needed to, when it was important for them to do so. So I just thought, hey, why couldn't that be a helpful thing to explore in a book as well?
Yeah, it's a great book. In addition to the book, you also created some downloadable activities. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
I created two packs of activities. One is for K through third grade, and the other is for fourth through sixth that are specifically geared toward those age groups that deal with some of the information that's covered in the book. So activities such as like distinguishing between reporting and snitching, whether or not certain situations constitute bullying or not, pledges, to prevent bullying at your school, and it just kind of provides an opportunity for students to really engage with the content in a more meaningful way. So hopefully they can retain and personalize the information.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's one of the key components of the Boys Town education model is that practice and those opportunities. So your activities, reading, story time, all of the books are so important, but then that extra step, those extra connections that we can draw can be so beneficial for students.
Yes, 100%. I just I feel like the more involved you are with any sort of media, the more memorable it is, and the more you're able to relate it directly to your own life and your own experiences. And that's one thing I wanted to do, not only with the activities, but with the book. I want students to see themselves in the characters and see situations that are representative of what they experience in their schools on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I really loved the artwork too for
Yes. Miranda Morrissey did a phenomenal job on the illustrations for this book. When they were asking about like corrections or if I would change anything, I'm like, no, she did it like she captured it perfectly. So I can't brag enough on the work she did. The illustrations are absolutely astounding.
it is such a bright, vibrant book. I love the colors and the details. It is amazing. So not only is it a fantastic story, but the illustrations just take it up there a little bit, even higher.